never seen a video on YouTube that showed the in-cab view and inside controls of an Oshkosh Concrete Mixer. This is my assigned to me 2010 Oshkosh. So this stick here is for your chutes. Left, right, down, up. And it's just like a normal joystick, like on a video game. And then it has this button here. That button will start and stop the drum. So if you can see, the drum is rotating right now. If I press the button, now the drum's not rotating. Press it again, it's rotating again. Excuse me. This here is your charge and discharge lever. Pulled all the way back right now. It's at full charge, which brings all the concrete to the back of the drum for when you're mixing. And then using this, I can slow the speed of the mix or speed it up. In the middle, it's now stopped. When I put it forward, that puts me in discharge, which brings the concrete out, and that's how I can pour the concrete out. I'll bring it back to charge. This lever here is fold and unfold my power chute, which is the chute that's standing up. So if I push this to unfold, my chute now is going out. The first one drops, I keep holding it, and then the second one will fold all the way out. Fold those back up. This is a slump gauge. So when I'm loaded with concrete, this tells me what inch of slump I have for my concrete. So the lower the number, the wetter the concrete is. We typically try to leave our plant at about a 4-inch slump, which is a decently thick concrete, but it's what most contractors will do for foundation footings and sometimes walls that have like step downs on them, and once in a while a floor or sidewalk that has a slope to it so it doesn't run. And then like 1500 would be a 3-inch, which is very stiff. And then 1000 is a 5-inch, which is getting a little thinner. 600 is a 6. Or excuse me, 800 is a 6, which is what we usually do for walls and floors. And then 700 is a 7. And then 600 is an 8, which we don't often do, but when we do, it's usually just for floors. And in order to mix, you have to have the charge lever pulled all the way back. And what we do is we just give it full throttle and rev the truck right up, and that'll turn the barrel much quicker and help everything mix. With that, this lever here is my water valve. My water tank is pressurized. If you look right here, the big cylinder, that's my water tank. I carry 270 gallons of water, and I also have this rubber hose here so I can wash my truck. But while I'm mixing, I can open this water valve and watch my slump meter, my slump indicator, and as I can, it'll be stiff. So if I'm at like a 3, I'll hold my water valve open for about 10 seconds, 10 Mississippis, and that'll add approximately 10 gallons, which should bring me to about a 4-inch slump. or if they want further, you keep adding water until you're there. But at a full rev, sitting at a full charge, it'll read a 4. But if I'm at a full rev mixing, for example, a 4-inch slump, which is 1200 at an idle, is actually around, in my truck, everybody's is different, but in mine it's about 1900 on the slump gauge. So when I let off the throttle, that should read about a 4-inch slump, 1200 on my gauge. Just my lights on off, voltage, trans temperature, speedometer, fuel gauge, tachometer, engine temperature, and engine oil pressure. My truck has 134 miles on it, and it has 9,848.4 hours. This is my automatic transmission gear selector. So drive, neutral, reverse, just like your standard car. And this is for when I want to come to a stop and I'm on a hill, or I want to travel slower on a hill, maybe in the winter time, or just on a very steep hill when I'm fully loaded. It's a 6-speed automatic transmission. So when the Jake brake kicks on, which that button is here, it's always on, it'll shift down into 4th to help slow down the truck. If I'm coming down a steep hill and I want to slow down more, or be slower to be safer, to be able to stop easier, I can click this down 3 times, and then that'll bring the selection into 3rd, and now I'm going slower, and I can even go in the 2nd. But you need to make sure you're going slow enough, and your RPMs are low enough to begin with, or else it will not downshift for the safety component of the transmission and engine to not overspeed or over rev the engine, because that can cause damage. Here I have my auxiliary axle switch. Push this down, my tag axle goes down, which I don't know if you can see it, but it's the one that's axle that's in the air right there. We do that when we're loaded with concrete. It's my air pressure for my brakes and horn, and being able to pressurize my air tank, and using my drop axle. This is my 6-wheel drive and low and high range for my transfer case switches. So by switching this up, I'll put it in the low range, and if I switch this up, I'll be in 6-wheel drive. That's what we use on most job sites. This is a hopper up and down switch. So the loading hopper up on top above me here, where I get loaded, some people will put this up when they're pouring so the concrete doesn't make a mess all over the hopper. Then you have other switches like engine fan override. I was talking about the Jake brake. My RPM lock, so when I'm getting loaded or I'm washing down, my barrel needs to be spinning at full rev. So by pressing this once and then holding it down for a second time, it'll rev the RPMs all the way up to full rev, as if I was holding the throttle down, and it will mix, so nobody has to sit in here and hold the throttle down so I can get loaded or wash down my truck after being loaded. And then this is just a lock and unlock for this, and then engine fault codes reader. And this switch here is my lock and unlock for my chutes that are standing up, that were operated by this lever, so that they will not drop while I'm driving down the road and could cause an accident or cause somebody to get hurt. But that is pretty much it.